Since President Trump took office for a second time, the Justice Department has undergone significant changes. The priorities of the DOJ have shifted, with critics of the president accusing him of using the department to go after his political enemies. According to Justice Connection, a network of DOJ alumni, more than 230 prosecutors and employees were fired in the past year, with thousands more estimated to have quit under President Trump. Stacey Young joins me now. She is the founder and executive director of Justice Connection. We really appreciate you for being with us, Stacey, and talk to us about some of the changes that you'd like to see.
Well, the department, if we move beyond this current administration, will need to be rebuilt and reimagined. There have been offices across the department that have been decimated. As you said, there have been thousands of career employees who've been pushed out, some of whom have been fired for political reasons. The department needs to be rebuilt in a way that is more durable so that a president in the future who believes that he is the law can't tear it down as easily as this one has.
Is that possible, though? How do you accomplish that?
I think what we're going to need to do is start thinking about it right now. And I think that the best people who are really best positioned to figure out what makes sense going forward are the career employees who used to work there, the people who work there across administrations, who know what worked, who know what didn't, who knew what the structural infirmities were. So Justice Connection, which is the organization I run, is really thinking about what it's going to take to reimagine the Justice Department, and we're trying to involve as many former career employees in that project.
I guess I'm curious, so how do you get buy-in? Obviously, we're still quite a ways from the 2028 presidential election. Don't know if it's going to be a Democrat or Republican, who will take office after the president. But even if you come up with all of these ideas, how do you get buy-in from whoever may assume the office after the president?
Yeah, so the people who are involved in this process are going to need buy-in from the people who are running the Justice Department, for sure, but they're also going to need buy-in from Congress. The Justice Department has basically existed and functioned based on institutional norms and guidelines and traditions. And this administration has proved that that is not enough. The guidelines, the traditions, the norms really need to be codified. There need to be enforcement mechanisms.
So you're saying you want something codified into law?
Absolutely. So Congress is really going to need to be involved in this process. And we believe that to work with Congress, the best people to really be doing that are the people who are apolitical, who are impartial, who worked at the department and put their politics at the door. DOJ had always functioned before this administration well because the career workforce, which is the backbone of the department, was apolitical. They were there to enforce the law, regardless of who was in the White House. And those are the people who I think will really be able to convince Congress how to pass the laws that are necessary to make sure DOJ can be rebuilt in the most responsible way possible.
And talk to us a little bit more about some of the things that you have heard from former DOJ prosecutors, employees, about their concerns with what's happening under the Justice Department in this current administration.
They're concerned that a lot of the work has been eradicated. They're concerned about the fact that offices that focused on enforcing civil rights laws, enforcing environmental laws, enforcing laws that prohibit public corruption, making sure that national security concerns were addressed. They're concerned that the priorities have been refocused to advance this president's agenda and to execute his retribution campaign. And they're also concerned that so many of our former colleagues have been pushed out. They want to see a sharp divide between DOJ and the White House. They want to see, as I mentioned before, the norms codified, strengthened, so that the department can endure the attacks we've seen over the past 14 months.
And finally, in terms of Congress, though, do you think that they will be receptive to this? I mean, we're in the middle of a shutdown. So right now, even getting the government functioning seems to be an issue. So how confident are you that Congress will be receptive to some of the reforms and changes that you would like to see, especially as lawmakers debate what they say is the weaponization of the Justice Department, depending on, which party you talk to?
I think that most people in Congress understand that the rule of law can't survive unless the principal institution that enforces it is strong, is impartial, is just, that it lives up to its name. And I think they also understand that our entire democratic system hinges on the rule of law. So I do think that they will be receptive to good ideas for rebuilding the department and making sure that it is strong enough to survive for years to come.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you for joining us, and I look forward to an update on your efforts.
Thanks so much.